All right, welcome back to ARC Southeast Texas. Bonnie joins us this morning again for our bi-weekly segment, BBB Buzz. We're talking about how to spot scams. Very important because if you ever get on the internet, you know that they're always trying to come for you.
Right. Yes, and that's last week I talked with Macy about going to that BBB scam tracker page where you can see just a list of scams, but also on that page is how to spot a scam. And so a lot of the popular ones like how to spot a fake website, a fake social media account, fake text, and a whole lot more. And so you just click on the one that you want a little bit more information about, like on the fake website. If the domain name, you just look real close, it might not be spelled quite right. And maybe they just swap a letter or two. And so you know that's a fake website, and you just don't click that. And then sometimes it's just a different word like headwear, W-E-A-R, or hardware, W-E-A-R instead of W-A-R-E.
Yeah.
So it's things that you won't notice because you're just seeing what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, glancing at it, right?
Yes,
it's kind of one of those things, typos, and you just kind of overlook them, but they're there.
Right. So you just want to be a little bit extra careful, especially if you get an email with a website link in it. Just be extra careful on those because it could actually be malware in there. So, and then also the tricky subdomains like netflix.com.movies.com. It's just movies.com. So if it's a big long thing like that, that's something to watch out for. And then if it's just a bad quality, a bad layout on the website, maybe it's a little bit fuzzy or something, and it should be nice and clear if it's a popular site like Amazon or Walmart or something like that. If it's a little bit off, then that's a fake one. They just want your information. And then do research if you're a little bit suspicious. If you get something, even if it's from a friend, and you think, oh, maybe, and you think, well, maybe it's not right. You can Google or search in your search the name of the website and then scams or reviews or something behind it, and it'll tell you if there's something going around about that one. And then on that BBB scam tracker page, and on the how to spot a scam, there's also what's called a safe browsing tool. And you just type in the website that you're curious about, and it'll tell you if it's a safe site or not. So that's another, it's a very useful tool. Yeah, and it's on that bbb.org scam tracker, how to spot a scam. Fake social media accounts, there's so many.
There is so many.
And it's just, there's so many ways to trick you.
Yeah.
The fake social medias, what they want to do is promote phony products, and maybe just spread scams and spread lies and misinformation. So you don't want to engage on those. And the way you can watch out for those is if the original content is just memes or things that aren't original, that don't have anything to do with the company or whatever they say they are. If it's just a bunch of generic stuff off the internet, it's probably fake.
Right.
Yeah, and then even the comments, if the comments aren't genuine, if it's emojis or it doesn't have anything to do with that site, it's probably a fake site. So you just don't want to mess with that. You don't want to engage on that at all.
Yeah, it's the fake names that get me, where you can tell it's not a legitimate name. Those are they're everywhere.
They are, and it's just another way to get your information. And because once they have their information, they do all kinds of damage. They can get into your banking information. They can steal your identity. There's so many things that they can do. So if we're careful on the upfront, where we're just kind of watching out for these things, keeping them, not giving them that information.
Right.
The one that we've talked about a lot is the phony text message. Sometimes it's like a wrong number. They say, hey, John, we met last weekend. I'd like to continue our discussion. When's a good time to get? There's almost always a question that you have to answer. Don't text back and say, hey, it's not John. Sorry, you got the wrong person. Don't text back. Just leave it. You can either report it as a scam and delete it. Just don't respond at all. And even if it's the option to opt out, like to put stop or whatever, don't. Just leave it. You can, again, report it as a scam if you want to, but definitely don't respond and just delete it and don't engage. Because they will find a way to get in there. Phony emails, we've talked a lot about that one too.
Yeah, that's a big, we say all these are big and they're so common. It's because there are so many and they are so common.
Yes, and that's another one where you can watch out for the email, the return address, kind of like with the website. Is there a letter switched around? Is there one that's kind of popular is they have the HTTPS, but it's not part of the link. So they'll have that, and then it'll be colon, maybe 2 colons. That's not right. And then the HTTP as part of the link, but it doesn't have the S. The S means it's secure. So if it doesn't have the S, don't click it. And sometimes they're just sending the email from somebody that you think you know, and it could even be from within your organization. Maybe, I don't know what your, like ours is .bbb, sectexas.org. That's our part of our email address. It may be part of your organization, but it might have just one little letter.
Right.
Same thing. So you just want to be careful with those two. Poor grammar, maybe the wrong tense of the verb or something. That's really a flag too. So the one thing you want to always do is keep your software up to date. Just always keep your antivirus software up to date, and that's a real good protection. So
yeah.
If you do accidentally click something and somebody does get your information and they have stolen your identity, you can go to identitytheft.gov, and that has just a great information on how to get started and what the next step is and how to contact all your banking institutions, everything, to shut it down.
Well, at least there's a good support system there,
Yes.
right? Because this has happened to a lot of people, and I think probably a lot of people feel like, oh, this, it's never going to happen to me.
Right.
And being in this industry alone, I've heard time and time again stories from people where these crazy situations and they've gotten lump sums of money stolen from them and whatnot. So it's always good to be very cautious.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and that's kind of what we do at the Better Business Bureau, is help people be alert to these and kind of warn them ahead of time. Just watch out for this, watch out for that, and keep yourself safe. That's what we all want, because it is there are just so many and so many more and so many, and so they're, like I told Macy last week, they're keeping us busy.
They are, yeah.
So, and that's not the only thing that we do, but it is a big part of it.
Right.
And so we're grateful to the businesses that help us be able to bring this out to the public so that we can be warned. And the last thing is just sign up for those scam alerts on the BBB scam tracker page. Sign up for those, so when something is new and coming around, you can find it and you'll get those alerts. And so another good protection.
Yeah, well, good deal. Okay, lots of really good information. Of course, you can find all of that on the BBB website.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
We'll see
Thank you
again
for having us.
Yeah, we'll see you again in a couple of weeks. There's always scams to look for and whatnot. So we'll be hearing from you in a couple of weeks.